Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham,
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber,
Hello.
and this is State of Atlanta. I had a very muted pop opening. I could barely hear
I had a sad opening.
it. Much like the Georgia State Panthers last week.
That was a rough transition, but we'll take it. We'll
I
take
guess
it.
the opening wasn't too bad. It was 7-6 in the second quarter. I wasn't like, I mean,
We made it all the way to the half with a lead, right?
did we finish the half? Yeah, I guess we did finish the half 7-6, right? Then the wheels fell off. So, yeah, I mean, not that 7-6 is how you wanted to start that first half of the game, but I always take being in a lead better than not.
I was already a little nervous at, not scoring more.
I was nervous after the first pick. I was like, uh-oh.
We got a touchdown, and they had 2 field goals. So, I mean, although I didn't like the way we were playing and what was going on, I still had confidence coming out of the halftime. But then all of that eroded.
Well, we usually score more by then, so I was.
It's true.
I was a little uneasy. I was like, man, we're not scoring.
Slightly off pace, right? Slightly.
Yeah, exactly. We should be scoring in the 30s, and that's a lot of points for a second half.
Georgia does it without a problem. So,
well, Georgia is a different team.
They are
different.
I felt like this was we talked about it before, and everyone was saying this is the first stout defense we were going to face for the season. So coming out a little slow, also with the expectations being as high as they were, and Troy's team being as upbeat as they were going to be. Who? There you go. I kind of rationalized it between all those facts and the amount of alcohol I consumed during the tailgate. I kind of rationalized that, all right, it's fine. Coach Elliott's going to figure things out. We're going to come out in the second half and it's all going to be better. And it was not better.
I mean, they had a very highly ranked defense. I think after this week, their total defense, they're in the top 25 defensively, right?
Yeah.
So
they're going to be in the 20s. Yeah.
It's going to be a tall test for the team overall. I want to give them. I hate giving credit to teams, but I'll give some credit to Troy's defense. I mean, they did really contain Granger, and obviously he made mistakes.
Yeah, he had a couple interceptions, but if you just look at just the stats, you don't watch the game and you look at the box score. He didn't have a bad performance. 2 interceptions, sure, that's too many. But the gunner dude had 1. But the completions were good, the yards were good. He got some on the ground. He
didn't score enough points, David.
In opportune times,
he was out. He was outplayed.
Or throw a pick, right?
He was out.
There's one stat that matters, and it's touchdowns, right? It's just points.
Correct, but with our rushing offense, granted he didn't get any on his feet. We still expect the running game to put us in the end zone more often than him. So I mean, I guess he's
included our running game too.
He's included in the running game. Yeah. It was unimpressive on that side. Their defense was great. I think Ben posted these stats on Panther Talk. I didn't copy them down. Troy's is the best defense that we've faced so far, and none of the teams the rest of the schedule, other than LSU, none of them have a better defense, but they all have a better defense than all 4 of the teams we played before.
Oh, yeah, we kind of knew that, though, right?
So
coming into the game, we knew that.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is there's a chance.
There's always a chance, right? I mean,
not in that fourth quarter, there wasn't.
That fumble kind of sealed the deal on any kind of resurgence.
Yeah, and the score's a little higher than it would have been. They got that last touchdown.
Garbage
time, which a lot of people were kind of hating on that happening, but the other option was to score a field goal because it was 4th down. So the other option was to go for a field goal, which kind of seems a little
take a knee.
It would have stopped the clock. Would have given the ball back to us with 10 seconds. Granted, how much can you do? I think it was 10 seconds because it was 4th down. They had to do something.
They wanted to go for style points. You need the Sunbelt
run it,
style points.
Just run the other direction. I mean, not that they got to do us any favors.
Just run around in circles and fall on the ground.
Yes, do that.
I'm never gonna hate on a guy for being given the ball and him not rushing into the end zone. That's just what you're supposed to do as a football player.
Right,
I mean,
right. That's what you're trained to do.
They need their stats too. These are every single one of them, despite whether they got a shot or not, are going to try to play on Sundays. They think they can, so they got to get every single touchdown they can. But yeah, it sucked. It was just a bummer. I mean, just an absolute bummer of a game with is coming in as high as we were on it. So
well, and I'm not one to blame calls, but I do think there were like a couple of blown calls that really messed us up. And the one was that one play that it was like offsides for Troy State, and then it was also pass interference in the end zone, and they called neither of them. And it was like, okay, like you got two really blatant fouls here, and you're not going to call any of them.
Right.
Take the trash down south, so they're cloning all the referees out of Eagle Creek. So,
oh, right.
That's why we're having problems right now.
I mean, it was like, come on. And like, that was early on in the game too. And like, I feel like the momentum could have shifted. There was another play too. I'm forgetting what it was. I should have written stuff down.
What a thought.
I'm sure have people talked about it though. I'm not on Panther Talk. I feel like there were a couple of standout plays that were like, come on.
I don't know what you guys are like after losses compared to wins, but I shut down completely from my team pretty much up until the following game week, which is not something we can do on the podcast here. But I did not look at Panther Talk, the Sunbelt board, standings, scores, or anything until about 2.5 hours ago. I have avoided all of it just because I can't handle it, man.
I mean, but the good thing is like, who expected us to be 4-1? I mean, I guess I did, but
not me.
I totally called this entire season. So
it's a bummer, but it's kind of one of the notes I did write down was like, you can say, the team needed to have a loss to get the next win. We have the bye. It's a perfect time with the bye week, and Marshall doesn't get a bye week. They're playing at a P5 team. They're not favored in. So if you're gonna lose a game when you have time to rebuild, figure out what went wrong, and prepare for the next guy even harder. Because that Marshall game in 2 weeks or a week and a half at this point, that's a huge game. It got moved to night, 7:00 game on ESPN2. Another nationally televised game. Another night game. I think
what you're saying is we purposefully lost to get our loss out of the way.
I'm not saying we purposely lost. And actually, one of the things I was thinking about was every season we have those 1 or 2 or more games that we always look back on for years. Like last year, it was Charlotte and Monroe. And we talk about how, man, if we would have won those 2 games, that really would have changed the season. Maybe this is the Troy when we look back on what could have been a perfect season or a perfect Sun Belt season, and we said, man, if we would just not drop the ball, literally
perfect season. David is
gotta get a little
for 11-1.
Yeah,
this is no, it'd be 12-1, right? 12-1, perfect Sun Belt season.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Come on, man.
13-1, right? Because there's a bowl game too.
Well, I said Sun Belt record. I seriously doubt they put us in a Sun Belt. 12, but then 12-1's not Sun Belt. Yes, outside of LSU, 12-1.
So one thing though, you look at the offense, and I feel like that's where we really struggled. But there was some good news with the defense. I feel like I didn't look at the stats or anything, but like all night, it seemed like Troy was able to move the ball, but just not across the end zone, like just not into the end zone, right? And so like it was like definitely bend don't break, but like they would run it like all the way down the field or get it all the way down the field, and then there'd be a turnover. We'd finally like knock it off. There weren't a ton of points on their side either. So yeah,
and I think their first touchdown was when the guy broke away for like 45 yards or something. Like it was a fluke type thing.
Yeah.
Our defense, I think it worked.
That was the moment I was like, this is not going to go well.
It happens when you do the bend don't break. They're gonna break you.
They're gonna break you.
Again, you're gonna break.
I hate seeing like blown coverage type runs like that where they 45 yards. I mean, it hurt. It hurt.
Yeah, you can only stretch a rubber band until it pops. So,
but I just wasn't mad at the performance from the defense. Yeah, there were a couple of big plays, but it seems like that's still a positive aspect of our team, which is something I did not expect to say this year.
I wasn't mad at all. I've been burnt so many times that I just kind of like felt. I felt like back in real life again. Like, oh yeah, this is what it's like to be a Georgia State fan.
You were so mad, David.
You turned off the minute we fumbled. You were like gone from the world. You didn't exist. You were sitting there. You were next to me, but you really weren't there.
I was tired. It was a long day.
It was.
It's true.
Good tailgate. Good tailgate. As per usual.
Yeah, we always had a good time. Lots of food, more food than I didn't know how much food we were gonna have there because I didn't bring any.
Didn't bring food, and
like, it was still like giving it away. Please, people, take this. So
and the burrito tacos were back.
Burrito tacos were back. Yeah,
that's not our tailgate. Just to be super clear,
they just happen to be next to us, and they are very friendly.
Exactly.
Especially
we're like, here, have some of our sponsored booze, and
exactly.
I want a burrito taco.
You hand some margaritas over, you get whatever you want. Yeah. Now, what'd you think of the game environment though? We did have students show up. We had some fans in attendance. It wasn't a packed house at all, but the light show and everything. What'd you guys think of that?
I thought it was cool. I thought it looked pretty good in some of the videos that I saw. I was in the President's Suite. It looked good from that perspective. I like the atmosphere. I love the night games. I mean, I know some people want day games, but I dig the night games. They're nice. They're fun.
I'm fine with night games. I'm just more or less shocked that every game we've had this season is a night game, including the next one coming up. I don't know if the Lafayette game will get pushed to night game, if they're going to even want that. Hell, they played their game at 10 a.m. local time for them last week against Minnesota, I think it was. I mean, it was at Minnesota, but they're still the same time zone. Their game started at 10 a.m.
Oh, thanks.
That's weird.
I can't do that.
That's crazy.
You wake up at 3 to go tailgate?
Maybe I said 10. Maybe it was 11. Either way, 10 or 11 is way too early. Maybe it was 11. Either way, too early for a game to start.
I thought the light show, I was really concerned going in. I was like, there's not enough people to make this look good. It's not gonna look good. And even and from our club seats, we get an even worse view of the stadium because we don't see where most of the people are sitting. But it looked great. I was like, whoa, this is nice. This is neat. This worked. This is cool. And it was cool. Like I had a good time. And the other big thing that came out of it, Izzy my child has been dreading going to a game. She's been telling me she doesn't want to go to a game. She doesn't want to go to a game. And she had a blast. She loved it and was like, when are we going back? And she just had such a good time. And then we got home and she crashed so quickly. She just passed out. It was great. So all in all, like a big win. Oh, and she was just like, you're the best, Dad. Like on the way there. Because I bought her a donut.
Oh, they still.
I like smooth moother, right?
On the way there, you bought her a donut?
On the way there, I bought her a donut, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well,
yeah, and she was like, you're the best, Dad. Like just like very matter-of-factly. And I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
You're the only one that it matters to me that says that, you know?
It's somewhat annoying, but you can't get over how cute it is. My second daughter, Carter, she just wants to talk all the time. And so she'll, Daddy. I'm like, yes, what is it? She'll pause for like 3, 4, 5 seconds. Like she has no idea. She just wanted to talk. She's like, I love you. I'm like, I love you too. And then she goes on about her day. And I'm like, it's annoying when you're trying to do something and she's just getting your attention or whatever.
Sure.
But she follows up with that. You're like, all right, well, I guess there's more important things in life. But
that's so we're getting way off subject, I guess. But
yeah,
at bedtime, Izzy tries to find all kinds of reasons to come down the stairs over and over and over and over again.
Right.
And eventually I'm like, no, you're cut off. We're done. We're done coming down. She goes, I just want to give you a hug.
Gotta allow it, right?
I'm like, all right, get down here.
But that's the last time.
That is, she knows though. Like she knows.
You play that card, that's it.
Yeah.
All right, well, back on topic.
Night games? Night games we're talking about, right? We like
night
them.
games,
we hate them. Brian, what do you you like them, David, right?
I like night games, especially to begin the season. I think once we get into probably maybe out of October, I'll probably prefer a 2 or 3 o'clock game. Get some tailgating in, but get into the stadium before it gets too cold. I mean, not that it gets super cold here, but you know, once you have that the thinned out blood from the tailgate juice, you know, you sitting outside. I do care less. Yeah.
I like the night games a lot too, but yeah, you're right. When it gets colder, it's gonna be real cold. But I think being able to sleep in a little bit and then get to the tailgate still before everybody, and just enjoy like the whole day is really I love it. I'm like, my whole day is football basically.
I know there's some people that are like, I hate the 3:00 games because then my entire day becomes football and I don't get a chance to do anything before or after. I'm like, you tailgate before, you watch the game, and then you like just go back and watch highlights or whatever, or watch other football later that night. What do you mean it took up your entire football is supposed to take up your entire day? Do you think we have a 12:00 game? It's not taking up my entire day.
Yeah, there's not many of them. All right,
so like the night game gives you the optimal amount of however many hours of tailgating you want.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Or you're able to work for 5 or 6 hours that you didn't know you had to do that day.
Or you could do that if you wanted to.
Stupid work.
I sat there all by myself for a while. Well, not
so
all by myself.
lonely.
Izzy was there.
Izzy kept you company.
Yeah.
You weren't there that long.
I was there for like an hour and a half by myself.
There was all those other
where was Norm? Norm said he was on his way.
Yeah, no, not then.
He said
he was on his way, but not on his way.
I think he lives decently far away too.
Clarkson, I think. Right?
Oh yeah, no, he does.
Yeah.
So I think he wasn't totally on his way. He said he was going to take his time because David wasn't there, and I'm just like, hello, and nobody said a word.
I was probably on an airplane at that point, most likely.
Yeah, I'm like, F you guys, all of you.
He knew I had the canned cocktails in the other booth. Well, actually, I didn't even have them at that point. You were already there. Everyone was there. I had to drive past the stadium to go up to Midtown to pick up everything for Max. Hey, but you got a big PBR out of it, Ryan.
I did a 32-ounce PBR, which I thought was very silly. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to drink this. And David was like, put it in a State of Atlanta cup. And I did. And it worked.
There you go.
I drank that whole thing.
See, a problem solver, guys. My problem solver. Well, so on the bright side, being a loss, it's a cross-divisional loss. So it doesn't really have to hurt us at all. If we win out, we still win the East. We got that going for us.
Well, it's a tiebreaker though. Is there no lost Sunbelt teams right now in the East?
There are no lost Sunbelt teams in the East, but we play both of them, Marshall and Jimmy Madison.
Oh, but if Jimmy Madison, we're good, right?
So
gotcha.
yeah, so even if they win all our games, which they can't because they play each other as well, so one of them's got to lose that. So yeah, we're still in control. We're still absolutely in control of the Sunbelt East. Granted, we're in like 5th place or something in the East, but we still have the ability to win out.
So we just need to use Jimmy Madison against all the other East teams, right?
Yeah, if Jimmy Madison comes in first place,
good for them,
and we're second, then we still represent. I don't think we win the East. We represent the East in the championship game.
I would take it.
So we need to become Jimmy Madison fans.
I would.
No.
Hold on. I mean, purple's a great color.
No. No, the arrogance of that fan base, screw them. I can still see stuff like earlier today, just people complaining about not being able to be postseason eligible in the conference championship or the bowls or whatever. And I'm like, screw it, guys. You knew the rules coming into FBS. The rules going. This is actually kind of funny because they changed today, but the rules going into FBS have never changed. For all these years that you guys pined about going into Conference USA because it was a better conference than Sun Belt, they never changed. It was always a 2-year transitional thing. So stop acting like you're being punished unfairly. Every
it is a stupid rule.
It's whatever. It's a stupid rule, but it's a rule that
like if you win, you win. What's the problem? Why wouldn't you be eligible to like be announced the winner? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't disagree that I don't understand why the rule's in place. You would think that the rule would be in place to. I mean, you're transitioning; it should be harder for you. So the chance of you actually succeeding at that next level would be more difficult. Why are you holding somebody back? I get that. That's weird. I don't understand it. That said, it's the rule. It's always been the rule. I don't think that waiver has ever been appealed or whatever.
No, we tried, didn't we? We submitted one, I think, and didn't get it.
We didn't play nearly well enough.
Need it.
The same thing happened to the Trash Down South. I think they were the conference champion their first year in the Sun Belt because there was no bowl playoff game or not playoff championship game at the time, but they weren't unable to go to a bowl game. So while they all bemoaned the whole thing, I laughed at it because It did happen for them, but it was part of the rules. They understand the rules going into it. So stop whining about it.
Yeah.
Talk about what could have been. Talk about what could have been, not how unfair it is.
Well, just do it again next year, y'all. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's kind of one of those, I'm going to do this and I know I'm not going to get what I want, but I'm going to bitch when I don't get what I want. And I'll try to get what I want anyway. And in this reality, the NCAA says, it's tough shit. You can't get it, right?
Yeah, but it's not unfair. It's the rule.
It's the rule.
No, wait. There are unfair rules, and it's a stupid rule.
That's fine, but them not being able to do it does not make it unfair. It's the same rule that everyone's had to play by. Sure. Everyone's had the exact same. So they're not being treated differently than anybody else.
You know what's going to happen, right? They're going to overturn it tomorrow.
Oh, God damn. So we sound like extra idiot. We sound like double idiots or triple idiots when this comes out, and they've already. No, I doubt that's going to happen because they did come out. I was going to talk about this later, but might as well. We walked into it.
Did they double down?
No, all those proposals that we talked about several weeks ago, the NCAA was looking to adopt about just some changes to the NCAA bylaws. A lot of them got approved. I guess today, maybe it was yesterday. It's gotten approved since Friday and today when I finally started paying attention to sports media. But like that whole thing about FCS move-ups now goes from being a $5,000 fee to a $5 million fee.
Ooh, they closed the portal. Yay.
That's in effect immediately. So, I mean, Kennesaw State already began the transition, so it won't apply to them. But any other schools that are looking to move up, now it's going to cost $5 million versus $5,000, which is definitely a way of stopping teams from moving up.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the big conferences are like, no, we're trying to kill conferences right now. You cannot stay afloat by doing this.
Quit making conferences, right?
Yeah.
Or it turns into a point where conferences start buying teams. They start paying the fee for them to move up.
That's true.
Or something. So
I can understand it. It's like a diluted product, right? You have all the P5 teams and you have the G5. We're all together-ish, and you keep adding all these FCS teams. I don't think probably the P5 really wanted all the FCS move-ups that happened in this last year. They're probably you're diluting the product. Right?
Well, and the difference, the reason they split was it was the haves and the have-nots. It was who has a big budget. They were like, this isn't really even all that fair, so let's split this up. So it does make sense for there to be a large buy-in to go into the FBS, which is all of the schools that are supposed to have the means.
Money bucket.
Yeah. It actually makes sense. I'm not terribly mad at it. I'm glad we got in without it, but
if this would have passed a year or two ago, Conference USA would have had 4 teams.
Nothing. Yeah. None of those teams would be joining.
Kennesaw State would not. I mean, they still haven't made it in there yet, but I don't doubt they would have gotten the $5 million. Right? I do doubt they would have gotten the $5 million. I don't know about Sam Houston or Jacksonville State. Maybe they have a large fan base. I don't know.
They're on TV right now.
Jacksonville State,
Conference USA Wednesday.
Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
This actually, I saw this from. I haven't done the research to know if it's true or not, but a TikTok video I saw today says today begins 50 consecutive days with either FBS or NFL football. The next 50 days, you do not, and it's due to Conference USA playing all the Tuesday and Wednesday games because you figure, NFL's got you on Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Thursday, Sunday, Monday.
Mm-hmm.
College ball has you every Saturday, most Fridays. And now you have Tuesday, Wednesdays being filled by Conference USA. But 50 days, you can watch at least one football game, FBS or NFL, going forward.
I didn't even know that about Conference USA though. So, I'm plugged into like G5 football, and so that's pretty bad that I didn't know.
How are you plugged into G5 football besides talking to Tim and me every single week?
I think you're half plugged into it.
I'm plugged in more than your average football fan.
We've talked about it on here, Ryan. It may have been months ago, but we talked about it.
Yeah, it must have sounded boring or something. I don't know.
It was schedule-esque, so you probably stopped paying attention.
Yeah, was it during schedule talk? Because I might have just been out.
Could have been.
It came up during scheduling, sure.
Yeah, I blame that. I blame y'all's boring topics.
Another rule that changed was they just got rid of the attendance requirement. That 15,000 average over a rolling 2-year period.
They ignored it. So
are we gonna start reporting 5?
Well, when you start admitting schools when you have new move ups into FBS that don't have stadiums that can seat 15,000 people, why did you let them in? So
Get us all.
Yeah.
Now they're like, sweet, we don't have to do anything. Right?
I mean, but the thing is we were not hitting it for a long time. Maybe aren't right now. I have no idea. But like, it's not. It was never a rule that was enforced. So why not get rid of it? You just get rid of it, so it stops people talking about it.
Our average has been there, but it's average based off of tickets bought and tickets.
I was just say, how do you know?
15,294.
Yeah, it's tickets bought, tickets distributed versus butts and seats.
Yeah, I mean, but we know butts and seats are lower than that. I mean, everyone knows that.
Ours might be a little bit more.
I'm really bad at like just like looking at a crowd and seeing like visualizing how many numbers that is, because I'd be like, if you told me that we had 30,000 people at a game, I'd be like, okay. If you told me we had 15,000, I'd be like, okay. It's a huge ass stadium. There's a lot of empty seats. I don't know how many are full, how many are not. So
this year's been pretty good though. Like all throughout, I feel like I've always seen like a decent crowd. It's not always been like what I would like. We're not quite there yet, but it's definitely been like, the first game always has a good crowd. Just always like that. Just feels like that's where everybody comes out, and then we lose, and then everybody stops coming. And maybe it's because we just kept winning. I don't know.
Well, this is a huge opportunity for next Saturday. Marshall
Homecoming's usually a good one too, right? We get a lot of students come out. So
nationally televised game
at 3:30.
I think it'd look so much better if we were actually able to put up some kind of camera system back in that old right field section where behind the seating, where we could have the cameras pointing at the field, seeing the old Turner Field, see the lower sections of everything, see our players on the other side of the field, see that side. It would look so much better. It does look more rinky dink because of, as somebody put it online, the Charlotte 49ers section of football out there, football stands.
Are those cameras manned? The ones that are like, I mean, are all cameras manned, or are they?
Remember COVID year when we sat right next to the lady that was doing the cameras?
Yeah. Okay. I was just trying to think, like, I mean, could you not just put it on like a big pole over there? I don't.
A
big pole with and have it be able to move.
We'll recruit the right, pole to get it over there.
I don't know, man. But I mean, it can't be that expensive to, even if you just want to do like a big tower, some kind of cheapo tower over there.
I feel like in the prior render where they had the second deck on the east stands, there were like TV wells for cameras over there.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe get a couple extra mil, build a baseball stadium, build everything else, and then come and build the second deck on the east side.
Let's be pioneers.
You're absolutely correct, Tim.
Let's be pioneers.
Yeah, it is lower. It's not on the priority list compared to some other things, specifically baseball.
Let's be pioneers, and let's get drones out there and just flying them up on the side and just cameraing everything.
David, that's illegal. You can't do that. Slap yourself on the wrist. Damn it.
Can't? Why, is it government or something?
No, we're not. The Marshall got in trouble last week.
Oh yeah. That was a cool video though.
It was a super. I would be super proud of my school for breaking the rule to get that done.
Yeah, I'm sure that if it was something where ESPN was manning the cameras or whoever the video is, because that was obviously just the school that was doing that drone flyover versus the actual production company. I don't know. I'm sure that there's a reason why you can't do the drone stuff. That'd be super cool if they actually had that. You can have all kinds of cool angles.
We could have a really cool video and then have the drone go check out the garden at the Coca-Cola home run area on that upper deck.
I don't see why not. Let's see. Was there another rule? And then the transfer portal was reduced from 60 days to 45 days.
Oh, like there's like a window of when they can transfer. Okay.
Right. And I think for basketball,
what's the window?
I think for basketball, it's 60 days. Sorry, it's 45 days after Selection Sunday. That Monday after Selection Sunday, the window's open for 45 days. That's it. But then for football, there's 30 days after the season's over, and then 15 days in spring. So it reopens for 2 more weeks.
I was going to say, it felt like it was happening forever, and that's probably because there were the two windows.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
probably what
Well,
happened.
it was 60 days. They were doing.
Was
60
it like
days
30
now.
and 30 though? Like
I think something like that. I don't
Yeah.
remember. All I wrote down is what I said here.
it
So
felt
yeah,
like
something like
kids
that.
were transferring all year, right? It didn't feel like there were windows. It just felt like there were just constant news of kids transferring.
That was just Georgia State. It was just constantly every
That's
day.
just our school, yeah.
All right. What else we got? Silence, apparently.
What else do we have?
Silence.
Well, in the
Silence.
transfer portal, was that this week or last week where Thrash is with Louisville, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was
Yes.
ranked one of the top transfer portal players in the nation.
Yeah.
I don't know where that was. Source
He's
to be
he's
determined,
lighting it up.
but
He's lighting it up at
He
Louisville right
was.
now.
Yeah. He didn't do so hot in the NC State game, but I mean, that was a tougher game. So
you're gonna have a tough game, you know. I mean,
we had a tough game.
Well, when you
right, you can't catch them all.
Yeah.
when you start the season playing very, very well, obviously all the focus will be on you in the upcoming games, which just opens it up for everybody. It's one of the reasons why Julio Jones didn't get featured a lot with the Falcons, was because they would always double man him, and why would you throw in a double coverage when you had somebody else that was open? But
Yeah.
that was dumb, because throw to Julio, he'll catch it. He would have caught it. So.
But
Just
you're
chuck it up in the
leaving
air.
other people open too. So like they are making your team better even if they are not the target.
Right.
So
Let's see. You guys pay
Anything else
attention?
about Troy? No.
who?
State?
I was super down on the whole Troy game, and the further we've gotten away from it, I've let it bother me a lot less. So I think that it could just be a speed bump in the season. We'll see how we play against Marshall, and then I think as long as we play well against Marshall, like I'm expecting a win, but as long as we play well against Marshall, I think we beat Lafayette, and I think getting that monkey off our backs will be a good thing for the season. So beat Marshall, play well against Marshall, and then go into Lafayette, getting that beating them down there. I think that'll be good. Be very good.
I'm pretty sure it was our first game ever, and Drew Little got sacked on some play call. And afterwards, Bill Curry said, we called a play really to have that happen so that he'd get hit and just like the nerves would just go away. That's what he said, right?
No
So-
coverage. Just let the lineman through.
I mean, it didn't quite happen like that, but like they were like, he needed a good hit, and then he got up and he business
That
as
may-
usual. So
There's going to be more of that coming.
well, so you take a loss like this, where I feel like our defense played pretty well and our offense just never quite got it going, and it's a good like punch in the face just to be like, look, y'all need to learn how to win good, you know. I don't know how to put it.
That is the best coach speak ever. Like, so tell us what happened in the third
What
quarter
happened in the
when the
game?
quarterback got sacked or really bad. Oh yeah, he was getting a little too comfortable there in the pocket. So we caught a play we knew he had to get obliterated on.
This was early.
It worked.
It was
And,
Curry, man.
And
He
then
didn't just
for the
let
rest
kids
of the
get hit.
season, for the rest of the game, he threw lights out. He couldn't see
Whatever.
anything, but
It made sense to me.
We led Granger into that first pick. We wanted to see how he'd react.
yeah,
I don't think they did it on purpose,
not
but
well.
maybe getting
Maybe.
hit in the face by Troy State this week was a good thing for the
That's what I
program
was trying to
overall.
say. That's what I was trying to
Oh,
say.
yeah.
Is you take that punch on the jaw, you get knocked down,
Yeah.
but Chumbawamba get back up again.
Oh,
Never
God.
going to keep me down.
Why are you doing
Then
that?
you drink a vodka drink.
You're
Then you
giving me
drink
that song for
a
like
lager drink.
days.
You'll get a crack out of this. My sister asked who we were playing. I said Troy. She said Troy State University. I was like,
She
like-
knows.
I was like, well, yes, Troy State. They might have dropped that. They did.
Yes, exactly.
They did. What
She
are they
didn't
now?
say
Just
who.
Troy University? I'm like,
Did she
Yes.
say who?
yes. They did. Just say who. I was like, yes, they are. And she's like, well, that's dumb. It's like, all right, I like it.
Well,
All right,
yeah.
next time we play Troy State, we need to get beat who stickers made. Which, granted, now it won't be for probably another 7 years or something. But
Oh right, yeah, because they're unless we add over there, and I don't know,
We
there
get-
could be
we
a
get-
lot of shifting that happens that gets Troy State in our.
I still say make that a protected rivalry. Play them every year.
No, I'm down.
I'm down with it.
Cross divisional game against Troy every single year. I
think
think
they did show up. You know what I loved? The band showed up. They had everybody. Their band showed up.
Yeah,
and I know people got angry at the band at the end, which I wasn't paying attention. But apparently they played over Georgia on My Mind, which is not cool. Did. I loved them for everything else they did.
You would think, out of all things, when it comes into sports, that bands would have respect for other bands when it comes to playing music, and
not this one.
No, I blame ignorance. Like maybe they just don't know. I don't know. But every team has like a tradition, right?
I call BS on that. I feel like, I mean, I feel like the band directors would be like, all right, here's what we're going to do during this. Here's what you're going to do during that, whatever. And obviously the home team band gets to decide when the other team's band's allowed to play. And playing during our send off, what have you, for the end of the game, our tradition that we do it every single year. I think since we started playing football, that's just inappropriate. It's rude.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
We should just blare the train horn until they all left and let our band.
I was gonna say we should just play the trainers, hold the button down, be like, get out of here.
Yeah, because they were complaining about that all the time.
They were on Twitter.
And apparently some people got butthurt because our uniform video, our announcement video,
we had a sword.
They had a sword in it, and they thought that was taunting. And I didn't know what to think when I saw the sword in it, whether I liked it or not. But apparently enough of them saw it that they really thought it was.
Did we break it? What happened?
No,
we're holding a sword.
Drags across.
It's kind of weird.
I thought it was strange.
I think all the teams are trying to embrace the team they're playing a little bit.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do?
It was taunting, though. I mean, that's a little aggressive.
So what are we going to do for Marshall? Have one of our players have a lazy eye and missing a bunch of teeth?
That's terrible.
Wow, you said it.
I was just say ride a buffalo, but
Buffalo,
well, whatever they are. What are
West Virginia? They burn couches, right? So we just burn a couch out there. So I don't know if Marshall does that.
That'd be a hilarious uniform video. Just a burning couch.
A burning couch in the background, and they're just crossing their arms.
I think Marshall actually has a deep hatred. Marshall fans have a deep hatred for West Virginia, whereas when it comes to Georgia State and Georgia, we complain all the time, and Georgia Tech for that matter. We complain all the time about the fans that root for them, but that's not the way it is up there. There's no fans that that actually root for root for West Virginia that are Marshall people.
I'm just saying, with the you should chill with that.
I didn't mean we as if we in
majority of this podcast don't do that.
I meant we as in Georgia State University. There's if you go to Marshall, you hate West Virginia. There's no in between. I don't care.
Do they even play each other?
If you don't hate, you're rejected. You're out.
Yeah, I'm ambivalent towards it. Like when Georgia wins, yay for some friends, boo for some friends, whatever.
What about when Georgia Tech loses, Saturday?
I mean, again, that's just I expected for Georgia Tech when they win. I'm like, way to go, guys! I'm so proud of you. I'm not used to seeing that
until game one next year.
Does that for our team too?
Way to go!
Oh, fellas, you did a good job.
Rubbing your hand with a little gold hair, oh, little guy. You really gave it to him this week, didn't you?
You tried your hardest. Let's go get some pizza.
I will say they really look like they're on the not so good bus right now for the rest of their season. We'll see how they end up.
Yeah, because they paid Bowling Green to come down here and beat them, right?
They did, a 1.2 or something. Yeah,
it was a good amount. I mean, I guess that's the going rate these days. The inflation's a bitch,
Doesn't go as far as it used to.
Yeah. Well, what did I say we were getting from LSU? It was 1.6 or 1.8, something like that.
Back when I was a boy, $800,000 could buy you an SEC win. Nowadays, it barely gets you a MAC team.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm pretty funny, aren't I?
Sometimes.
What else we got on the docket?
Are you watching the Marshall? Are you going to watch the Marshall NC State game this week?
Is it on Saturday?
It's on Saturday.
What's on?
I didn't put that on there. But NC State is favored by 6.5. It's in Raleigh.
I will probably prioritize the Georgia game, but if they don't happen at the same time, I will. Yeah. I would probably watch that. Yeah, I like NC State too. So
I will probably be watching the Georgia game at Georgia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Didn't we just have the things you talking about how no one here pulls for Georgia, and you guys both just followed it up with like watching the Georgia game?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I made fun of you a whole bunch for saying that too, like at the time. Maybe I'll try to go to Athens too.
2:00. Okay, so NC State's earlier. There you go.
Yeah, you get your tailgate game to watch.
There you go. That's a possibility.
Did y'all watch any of the other? I know y'all didn't because y'all are with me. Did you check in on any of the other Sunbelt scores from the week?
No, what happened? Can you tell us?
I can tell you.
Are we number one?
Were there any upsets?
No, we're number 5.
Any
We're
upset?
number 5.
I mean, it's not an upset because Appy State was favored, but they beat Monroe on a last-second field goal to win 41-40.
What's going on down in Monroe
this year?
What's going on? Also, what's going on in Monroe lately?
I don't know, but that gives me
Don't
a lot
they
of
have
hope.
that coach? Don't they have a coach?
They
A famous
do.
one?
Bowden.
Yeah.
Bowden. Yeah, Bobby, right? No,
I mean, that's important. No,
Jacob.
maybe Junior.
No.
I don't know, man.
it's Terry Bowden, isn't it?
I think it's Terry. Yeah.
Yeah, Terry Bowden. Yeah, I was joking about the Bobby thing. I know
That's
he's
scary
dead.
for them. Jesus,
he
41
dead?
to 40.
Yeah.
So
So
this might be the year, David. Right?
that's what I was trying to say. This could be the year. Appy State has definitely shown their vulnerabilities.
Ryan,
Well, I'm
you
not
shaking,
changing
you shaking,
my
Ryan?
prediction.
Ah,
I'm not changing it.
all
Let's
right.
see.
But I'm feeling better about being wrong.
Let's see.
Right.
ODU was actually leading Marshall at one point in the game. They lost. They lost 35-41 to Marshall. So ODU is scary weird.
They're
You know,
like the East, the Monroe of the East. There you go.
they are. They were supposed to be the worst team in the East, and they beat Lafayette, which another reason why we can beat Lafayette. They took Marshall to the line there, led them. So they were also was at Wake Forest. They were winning until they decided they didn't want to win anymore.
Yeah,
You know how that goes.
I was super
Yeah,
close.
right.
I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
Any other upsets or no?
Not really an upset, but Arky State, who was absolute garbage, just put it to UMass 52-28. You score 50 points. I don't care how bad you've been all season. You score
I feel
50
like
points.
that's UMass every year,
We
isn't
need,
it?
we need to get UMass on our future schedule.
They're
No,
like
that
this
would be the
advan-
year they figure it out.
Yeah, they're
No, I looked at,
national champions.
A couple of years ago, Trash Down South went up there and got beat by UMass, and I found that very, very hilarious. They're like the Savannah State of New England.
Well, they're FBS though.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, independent.
They're
They're
independent, right?
Yeah,
Still?
they're
Yeah.
independent. Yeah.
yeah. There was always a lot of talk about UMass being added to the Sun Belt as a football only member. Just
We already
Just
went
to
down
give
that road.
Are they still playing an hour away from?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure they play at Foxborough. Yeah.
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 That's crazy. They are
Yeah,
us
they're-
from the Northeast, right?
What?
No, I just called them Savannah State. Don't call them us, man. That's horrible.
If we had stayed like in, Georgia Dome or Mercedes Benz,
No, because that was still like on campus. I mean, that was like
Effectively.
walkable from campus for
It
sure. I
is.
mean, it's
It
not like
is.
on campus, but like I would go to the CNN Center and stuff sometimes for lunch and stuff.
Big Fears.
When I've taken
Oh, come on.
Ubers to Falcons games, the traffic has gotten so bad that I've hopped out on multiple occasions on campus around the sports arena and just walked
Yeah.
the rest of the way.
Yeah, it's
So,
not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But,
right.
but
of course,
I'm pretty sure
running late, so we're
Gillette
hopping
is
on,
like
so-
an hour away from
Oh, yeah.
UMass, like on the road driving.
yeah. It's on the interstate or state highway or some crap like that.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Like, it's not close.
No, not at all. Not at all. The only other one that I was going to mention, did I mention it? Oh,
You haven't said it yet, so I don't know.
where does it? Oh, Texas State. My boys down in San Marcos put up
They
50
won,
against
right?
Southern Miss.
Your
50
boys.
50-36. You guys say that I love them, so I figured I would just lean
Aw,
into it
you
now.
say you
so-
love him now.
You do love them. It's okay.
He does.
Yeah, another state university.
You can have a second love in the Sun Belt.
That's
They're
it.
in the West. It's okay.
He likes Brown a lot.
Coastal loss, right?
Coastal, yeah, but to trash down south.
Yeah.
Oh, Coastal.
So-
That makes me not like him more.
It should have been their,
Right.
That should have been in their bounce back game, right?
That's right.
You would have thought so, but they weren't playing on their magical teal field, so they didn't have their special
Oh.
powers.
Oh,
or
well,
whatever.
they're not so good away apparently. So
Well, we beat them at home, but yeah, at their home. But
Oh yeah, I got that mixed up.
We're the asterisk.
I know you did.
We're good.
I know you did. I know
It happens. I knew there was a joke in there, and I just messed it up.
Well, darn it. That was all of the comments I had, or the notes I had for tonight.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
We got a whole another week to talk about Marshall. Are we gonna have anybody on for the Marshall game? Do you know?
Yeah, I think I reached out before the season started. I haven't talked to him since then, but the Thundercast is supposed to be coming on. Thundercast.
I like it.
Oh, Thundering Herd. That's their name. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's good. I like it.
I feel like
It took me a second, but I like it.
A herd droppings or something like that.
Herd droppings. I like it. Bullshit.
We should do like some bison burgers.
Like
Ooh.
We got to talk about that next week, though.
Yeah.
Yes, next week.
Sure.
All right. We're going to do last call where we'll talk about other crap and this crap and everything that's going on in the world. You can find it on our Patreon page, patreon.com/StateOfAtlanta. It is free of charge for last call, but it comes out a little delayed on Friday mornings, unless you're a member. Early access to last call, access to our private group chat, access to the live stream of both the weekly episode as well as last call, and discounts on merchandise. So please consider subscribing. Patreon.com/StateOfAtlanta. Thanks for listening and say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.